Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Now if you see me wear shades because I've been meaning to come to you guys about this video for a long time now, and I've just been fluffing about some one piece of sunshine outside just now, so I'm saying, you know what, today's a perfect day. Today is not past and I don't come and talk to you guys. So I'm Anna K. I'm going to talk to you about the reason why I chose the UK as opposed to the US for nursing. Alright, so if you want to hear more about that, stay tuned. Alright guys, welcome again. So like I said, I'm wearing my shades because the sun is blooming like crazy outside and I'm right in front of the window, so the sun is legit right in my eyes. So excuse me for wearing the glasses inside, and if you feel like you can't connect to me, that's the reason. Alright, so like I said, I'm Anna K. I've got my nurse's hat on today to mega talk to them about the reason why I chose the UK for nursing. So for those of you who don't know, I'm Jamaican. Yes, it's straight Jamaican, black, green and gold. No, not blue and gold. Not black, green and gold. Jesus have mercy. So it's black. Oh yeah, it's black, green and gold, isn't it? Yeah, black, green and gold. Anyway, so you told me think of the Rasta color I'm going now a while ago. Rasta. But anyway, it's black, green and gold. So if you see me looking down, it's because I did jot some stuff down. I was trying to jot the things down along the way so that when I'm ready I can kind of flow, but I never really get to go over it properly because like I said, I wasn't going to do the video today, but it's like, let me tell you what time now in the UK. It's 7 o'clock and the sun, can you see the sun? It's 7 o'clock, like the sun is beaming outside. I have no artificial light on right now, it's just the sun. So I'm saying, you know what, like we just jump on it, we just like a talk really, so it doesn't really have to be anything, you know. So anyway, so I'm a nurse in Jamaica and currently practicing as a registered nurse also in the UK. Migrated to the UK a few months now, so I'm going to tell you the reason why I chose, and this is my opinion. You know, if you agree, it's my opinion as to why I, Anna K, chose the UK for nursing as opposed to the US. Now, of course, I've been to the US, but I never done nursing over there. So I'm telling you based on what I have experienced and know for the UK mostly, right, why I chose the UK. I can't tell you too much about exactly what going for the nurses at US because like I said, I'm not a nurse in the US, truth be told. Yes, I have some nurse friends over there, but it's not like I spoke to them and asked them, you know, I never really asked them, but just based on what some people are saying, especially people on YouTube, what their experiences are in the US. So number one reason why I may choose UK over US is the process easier. I'm not gonna tell a lie. The process is much easier. It's much more straightforward. US process, I think some of my friends that are looking at, or maybe associates who are not friends, are looking at migrating to the US for nursing. They're looking at possibly like 2 years. Now, I started my UK journey to get here the year that I came, which was last year, 2022. I started my application the latter part of March, early April, basically. And I was pretty much ready by August, yeah? So I came to the UK though in September, but basically I was pretty much ready by August. So I'm telling you what the process, like literally 4 to 6 months and you can reach here. As opposed to US, who is like 2 years, you understand? So that's one of the reasons why I chose the UK. Like I said, I'm gonna look down because I have some things on me kind of jot, yeah? So whatever I don't remember, I'll look. And they're in no specific order, guys. They're legit in no specific order. This is just things that are coming on my head or things that I remember now. There might be some other things that I probably don't remember by doing this video, but these are just what I remember. So you can comment and stuff and let me know. Those are if you're in the US doing nursing, why did you choose to go to the US to do nursing? And if you're in the UK and you were contemplating US or Canada, why? Because honestly speaking, Canada was actually my first choice. Yeah, Canada was actually my first choice. That's where I actually wanted to go to practice my nursing. However, like I said, the UK process was much more easier, much more straightforward. So of course, me just jump on the UK bandwagon. Second thing, and it's on the piggyback of it being easier, is the exam. The NCLEX exam compared to the CBT exam, which is a computer-based test, is much more manageable. I'm not gonna tell us that the people of exam easy, but I'm gonna tell you it's much more manageable. Hey son, I'm going like you want going after me come and do my video, you know. God, the spirit of Elijah we are called up right now. Stay son till I finish. So anyway, like the CBT exam, which is a computer-based competency test, right? You have I think 120 questions, clinical questions if I can remember, and 15 numeracy questions. So the numeracy questions, you legit have to get 14 out of 15 though. I'm not telling a lie. Look how the sun are going. But anyway, stay with me. So yeah, I forget 14 out of 15 for the numeracy exam, but it's very easy. It's a straightforward exam. You're reading not have to fail. If you read the instruction properly and you practice, you're not going to, alright, fail. So sun gonna look a bit, so I'm gonna take off the shades. Right, so it's actually it's much easy, right, compared to the NCLEX exam. You know, NCLEX calculations stay. Those who are Jamaicans know, like for the NCLEX, like for the pharmaceutical or pharmacy calculations, you know, and writing some of them straightforward, some not so straightforward. Yeah, my apology guys, the sun actually is going right in on us, but we'll continue because we start the video already. Alright, the CBT exam is much more manageable than the NCLEX. You can literally take 2 to 3 weeks and prepare for the CBT and you're ready. NCLEX, we know as Jamaicans how RNR was for us. Like RNR did miserable bad. Like you have to study, take a lot out of you for the RNR. And I believe that's the same it takes for the NCLEX, because none of our RNR question, those who are Jamaicans know are from the Caribbean. No say with RNR question name, this is the regional nursing examination exam to for your licensing, is basically just as the NCLEX. It's as difficult as the NCLEX. A lot of the questions are actually NCLEX questions. So it's much easier for the computer-based test. Now, you have another exam to do when you come here, but that's another story altogether. You have your OSCE, which is like SPAN for those who do, like for the Jamaicans on here, which is a clinical-based exam that you do on the clinical field, right? But over here, it's kind of like a pretend clinical field. So that's another reason. So one, obviously much more quicker. Two, the exam much more manageable. All right, so less stress. Another thing why I chose the UK over the US is that US just too fast. US just always get involved in other country business, so them likely for a war at any point in time, and we just not depend on that. So I feel like for me the UK is a bit more safe than the US, especially to raise children. So you get the US and you have to worry about putting on a school whether some mass shooting or go on or something like that. So I don't particularly like that. You understand? So I'm not saying that crime is not in the UK, right? And people are gonna look at it and say, well, comment, even at the comment box and say, yeah, but the London boy, them love shank people, because that's what they call it. They do a lot of stabbing and this and that. And of course, the London boys especially, they do take part in a lot of crime and stabbing and stuff. But guess what? London is not the UK, right? London is not even England. Yeah, London is a small part of the UK. It's actually a small section in England. You have Northern Ireland, you have Scotland, you have Wales to go to. This is the United Kingdom. It's not just about London. You understand? And if you know what I know, you wouldn't even try to go to London when you just come here, because London living is very, very, very expensive. So for me, I think that when you just come, the best thing for you to do is to avoid London altogether, unless maybe like for some people have family here, or maybe a large network of people in London that they know that possibly can help them. Because from my understanding, rent is very expensive at London. Like you can legit pay rent where you pay for 1 bedroom in London, you can get a 2-bedroom house with back garden, spacious and everything, if you go to away from the city, away from London, basically. So for me, I find the UK safer to raise children. No, I'm not picking yet, but yeah, we're doing the things to prepare for our kids. Hallelujah, hallelujah. So eventually I will, by the grace of God. So may prepare from now, isn't it? Yeah. So that's another reason. All right. So then I also heard that in the US you have to do like assessments, like every 4 hours assessment on patients. No, head to toe assessment this is. So if you realize that US the RS to the nurse, they're more so in a stethoscope. In the UK you don't really see nurses with stethoscope, because we don't not that we don't do head to toe altogether, but it's not a routine like in the US where every 4 hours you have to look at head to toe. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. Maybe somebody might say, them work at US, no, not go so girl, I lie I tell. That's what I was told. However, in the US, the nurses do seem to have a bit more, what would I say now? They're a bit more independent than the UK nurses, I would say, based on what I've heard. Alright, so the nurses in the UK more go by directives of the doctors at the autonomy. That's the word, isn't it? So the US nurses have a little bit more autonomy, which is why they do a little bit more. But also is the reason why they have a patient ratio of 1 to 5, yes, 1 to 5. And in comparison to the UK, I'm not going to tell you the lie, I'm not going to quote it. I'm going to be as honest and real with you guys as possible. The ratio, a lot of the time, especially now that a lot of UK nurses are leaving, is like 1 to 8, 1 to 9. Like my unit that I'm on is a 1 to 9. But my 1 to 9 is that you have, my ward is a small ward. A nurse on each side of the unit is 9 or are 9 patients, but you have a middle nurse who not really in charge of, then she don't have a patient particular, like she's not assigned to patients, but the middle nurse do the other little miscellaneous things, like even for your intravenous medications. Your nurse went at the middle, I gotta do that little things. Doctor said I want this and that. If you're doing something else, the middle nurse is gonna do that, so you get support. And me not gonna tell you no lie, the sister them support you. I mean, we don't know if I just my word, but honestly, the sisters, you get support, yeah? I mean, one of the things about the UK nurse compared to, I guess, US is that you do have the LPNs, which in the US, I was told, do a lot of the personal care. In the UK, you have the healthcare assistants. They do personal care, but truth be told, the nurses do take part in a lot of personal care with them. So that's something I'm going to be honest and open about. It's not, you know, yeah. So nurses in the UK take part in a lot in personal care with the healthcare assistants, as opposed to the LPNs who assist with a lot of those things, and even with vitals and like blood sugar monitoring and so, them do a lot of that. The healthcare assistant here do your vitals, do your blood pressure monitoring and them stuff like so, but you also help them with the washing. All right. Another reason why I chose the UK is because a lot of the like the care, you have specialists for everything. Like if you have a patient and you're concerned about respiratory issues, you just refer the patient to the respiratory nurse. Diabetic, you refer the patient to the diabetic team. Like you just literally call whichever team you want. Physio team, them have OT team, which is a person that starts out there going home and if they need anything special at home and stuff like that. Like you have specialists for everything. You don't have to stress yourself. Your patient has some issue about the NG tube, you call the nutritionist them or whatever. You understand? So I love that about UK. Like you get support, you get help. There's help every turn you turn, every nook and cranny. There is somebody to call for something. You understand? So you're not sitting and struggle with it by yourself. That's one of the things I like about the UK. Like on the piggyback of the same NG thing, you put in an NG placement, US nurses, them still do swoosh tests where they use a stethoscope and auscultate for air. When you put in a place that NG tube patients here, you send them for x-ray to check placement. And that's also something for me, I think that protect your license as well. Send them for x-ray, check placement, and if placement is in, you can proceed with feeding. Right, you use a litmus paper. Yes, we are using a pH test strip to test to see what the pH is for the patient before we feed them, and you have to get a second checker to do that with you. Right, that's one of the things. I mean, other things come involved like healthcare. Me not going nowhere, I'm sorry. I come from Jamaica where me have to pay for everything. I'm not going anywhere, I have to pay for everything again. Otherwise, I stay in a nice at country and go and back shuffle, because if I go to the US now and I'm sick, I mean, it's been told actually that a lot of people, the reason why the US work even less stressful is because enough people now go hospital. Yeah, enough people now go hospital. Them sick and their woman, them not going anywhere because they don't have the money to pay. Whereas in the UK, yes, the workload is higher because what? Any little thing wrong with you, and if you buck your big toe, them gone to A&E because what? It's free. So people access healthcare more easily and readily in the UK than they do in the US. That's my understanding. Correct me if I am wrong. You can always comment below and put a little input. We can talk about it. You understand? Yeah. So healthcare for me, free healthcare and better healthcare in the UK compared to the US. That's what I think. And then they have food standards. Like the regulatory bodies control the food government in here so much So you have better food standard. If you realize, if you check about like obesity and things like that, you find that less obese people are in the UK compared to America. Obviously, I'm not saying obese people in the area. You know what I say? Less. Yeah, because the food standards are a lot more strict here than they are in the US. So stuff like even in school, when the kids start with school, the less sugar in certain other products and them something there. Yeah, UK. But I think social programs, UK have a lot more social programs for young people, even people in a middle age, blah blah blah. A lot more social programs, a lot more interaction with society. UK, right? Education system, for me, I think the UK education system is better than the US education system. I'm not gonna say none of them better than my yard Jamaica, because I know so we have the best educators, and our students are educated on top tier at Jamaica. But the UK, to me, have a better, not even just me statistics, have a better educational system than the US. I mean, even when you come on to student loan, when your children get old and you go to a university, or you yourself start to work yourself and you get your indefinite leave to remain and you go to university, you know that if you take loan from the university, you only start to pay that loan back when you start earning over a certain amount of money. For example, in Jamaica, when you go take student loan and you finish school and you start work, 6 months later, whether you start work or not, you have to start paying them back. In the UK, you don't actually start returning the money until you start earning over a certain amount. So they don't really want you for the year and not struggle. So until they see you start earning a certain amount of money, then they expect you to start paying your student's loan back. More better work rights as well. In the UK, you're governed by so much work rights. You're protected, like you are legit protected. The unions, if you realize this country, them strike for every god almighty thing, anything them not pleased with, a strike will go, and you can guarantee that. So you find that the work rights are much better. You're protected here in the UK. That's one of the things that I like about the UK. I'm not gonna say compared to the US. Honestly speaking, don't really know about the work rights in the US, but I know that UK have very good and protective work rights. This now are gonna be one of the top thing for me, because living in the UK or even other European countries, it's easier to vacate. Like, everybody know me. Knows me love travel. I love to like vacation. I like to experience different food, different culture, different things, and you can actually go for a holiday to the popular destinations better, quicker, cheaper from the UK than you can from the US. No, it's just like me staying in Jamaica and book holiday. It's so expensive. So if you're in the US, booking holiday even to Jamaica is probably more affordable, yes, than the UK, to be fair. But who are going to Jamaica if I come from Jamaica every minute? No, not me. So you want to travel, it's easier to access Africa, the Middle East countries. Everybody want to go to Dubai and then place them, Morocco, blah, blah, blah. And it's a lot more affordable. You can get great holiday packages from the UK to go to those places. And on the back of that, are talking about what them in a one, you get so much more holidays from work as a nurse. Hey, listen me. As a nurse, when we talk about the nurse part, maybe as other professionals probably as well, but as a nurse, listen me, 7 weeks, 6 or 7 weeks vacation. What? US 2 weeks, Jamaica 2 weeks where I come from, and you have to work one entire year before you get the 1 to 2 weeks vacation. I came here and I started working in October, and by January, actually my leave was approved from the early part of December. I get leave for January. What you said to me? And then even with that leave, I spent 2 weeks, like I went back to Jamaica for 2 weeks, and I still had another week vacation left. And just start the people in work October, you understand? October 2022, and I was in Jamaica January 2023 on 2 weeks vacation. And I know calling and thought no for double business. Like, I legit got my vacation and I went. You have 6 to 7 weeks vacation as a nurse in the UK, and I believe as other jobs as well. Like I said, your work rights are better protected in the UK. So that's one of my major reasons I can book trips. Right now, I have a holiday coming up in August of 2023. Yes, I have my vacation booked already. I actually, speaking now, I've got leave approved for June. We're in April now, 2023. I have leave approved for June. I'm not really going to just book it, because guess what? Let me say if I book it, you have 3 quarters, isn't it, in the year, or 4 quarters, and then once it's advisable for you to book leave at least in all of the quarters as opposed to waiting and accumulating it all at once. Yeah, so I just book a leave for in a June, a week's leave, just to get some rest, and I can afford to do that. Do you understand what I mean? So that's one of the things as well that I love about nursing in the UK compared to US. Yeah. And then there's something else I was gonna say on the back of that as well about the holiday. I probably still remember it. Oh yes, maternity leave. You have a year's maternity leave. Like you get, I think it's 6 months initially. You know, I'm not too know much about the maternity yet because the girl not pregnant yet. But you know, we still find out. So I think you get 6 months. I know it is a year though, but I believe you get 6 months full pay for maternity leave, and then you get another 3 months half pay, another 3 months like half and half. Yeah, and then if you want more up to a year, then I think it's just the last quarter or the last 3 months that's like unpaid, but you are entitled to take the full year, and your job is guaranteed when you come off that maternity leave. Who can beat that? As opposed to like even in Jamaica, or I don't know how much it is in US. I know you don't get so much at US. In Jamaica you get 2 months, and then the 2 months including when you come off before you give birth. So imagine have your 8 months old, your 8 weeks old baby, sorry, I'm going back to her. This in the UK, you can stay home with the baby. You can stay home with the baby and breastfeed, do your exclusive breastfeeding. Yes, we support exclusive breastfeeding up to 6 months. You can do your exclusive breastfeeding up to 6 months, and then you're planning a thing after that. I mean, childcare, I must say, is expensive in the UK, and that's why I say people that have like family or have young babies also when you come into the UK, I would advise you to stay away from London City, especially until you kind of settle yourself, because honestly speaking, promotion is also very easy in the UK. So you can start as a band 5 nurse, but you're not going to stay a band 5 for long if you don't want to. So you can level up, right, very quick, and so you're going to obviously increase in pay as you level up, isn't it? So those are some of the things why I chose the UK, because if I forget nothing else. More job opportunities are in the US. I must give them that, because US is a bigger place. It is a bigger country than England, than the UK. So there's more job opportunities, other, like in terms of maybe you have a spouse. You might be a nurse, but your spouse. So there's more job opportunities, yes. But the other things trump that for me, yeah. The US, yes, they have larger houses. UK does have smaller houses compared to the US. The smaller houses are actually in London, like the flats and stuff, they are smaller. But if you go to the rural areas, you can get nice house, big back gardens, nice spacious place, you know. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's as spacious as US, to be fair, and I'm gonna be honest, but you can get lovely places same way away from London City. London, I think, because it's overpopulated, they build their houses much smaller to host, to obviously can hold everybody who want to come to London. Yeah. Taxes, people have talked about taxes, so I can't even talk about the tax. No, let me tell you something. Tax are tax everywhere you go. And people talk about travel nurses in the US. You have what we call agency nurses here, which is like travel nurse. So if you go do travel nursing and I go do agency nurse and I earn them all heap of money there, of course the government take a tax. Every country have a tax bracket that you're in. So if you end up working over the hours them and you're reaching a particular tax bracket, you're going to get taxed according to your bracket. You can actually live and work within the bracket where you get like 20% here, like the tax is 20% as opposed to 40%. A lot of people come and they do care home because care home pay more. Yes, it does pay more than the NHS, you know, and they look at it to say UK pay cheaper. In its entirety and its honesty, I'm not going to say UK pay isn't cheaper than the US, because it is, but it is more expensive also to live in the US than it is in the UK. Food is a lot cheaper in the UK, and that's a fact. Food is a lot cheaper, school is free, and healthcare is free. So the money that you're going to earn at US, because you get paid more, you have to pay for this, you have to pay for that, you have to pay for that. You understand? So you're going to use it back anyway. The rent at US is very, very, very expensive. So yes, your pay is higher, but you're going to pay it out. It's just like saying people want to run to London. The pay is higher in London as a nurse. You also get London wages, or the fringe or whatever them call it, because you live closer to the city or in the city. But if you're getting it and you're going to pay it out back in a rent, in a really match out, right? So as a rule of thumb, I can, or as an example, 600 and I don't know 50, you can actually pay for 1 bedroom near the city or in the London areas, or 700 or 800 pounds for 1 bedroom. Me never say 1 bedroom house, me say 1 bedroom where I share. Yeah, most people when them just come here, they're gonna share because you're gonna figure your way out first. But that same 800, you can pay actually two, like me say, 2 bedroom house up like North or Middle East or other Wales, Northern Ireland, 600 pounds, 650 for a 2 bedroom house. Garden, big space, all of that. You understand? So it just all depends on you. So those are the reasons why I chose the UK for me over the US. You might have other reasons, and there may be other things that I probably don't remember right now, but family as well. Like obviously I have family here, so those of you who know me or who watch, if you want to watch the other video, then I can go watch the videos when I went to reunite with my sisters for I never see them in like 12 years and stuff. I have family here, my sisters are here, I have cousins and whatever here as well. I also have family in the US. I guess we're probably not so close, but I have family in the US as well. So where the support is, where family is, might be a deciding factor for you. For me, not so much so. That wasn't one of the reasons why I moved to the UK, not because of family, because like I said, I was going to go to Canada when I never did know nobody in Canada. I have one auntie and one cousin in Canada, right? And I was willing to go, not where they are, but just anywhere really. So that wasn't the deciding factor for me, but for some people that might be, because you want a little support. So like me say, these are my personal reasons. You don't have to agree, right? These are Anna K personal reasons, and we can discuss in the comment what's your reason. Why would you choose UK over US or US over UK? I mean, and you can ask me questions. What do you want to ask me, like about working in the UK as a nurse? Yeah, no, ask me about other work in the UK, because I might not be able to answer now. Work in the UK as a nurse, and then you can compare it with maybe what you know about working in the US as a nurse. Alright guys, so thank you for watching the video. The light got in and out. I hope it never too disturbing, much, but I just basically rushed to do it because I saw that I had good lighting, but the lighting never really last, so it go back in, but we still do the thing. So those are my reasons. So like, subscribe, share the video with your friends, people who are contemplating for the big move. Share it with them. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Help us grow the channel, guys. Help us grow the channel. So like the video, subscribe. Don't just watch something and not like it, or you can watch it and it help you and not like it. If you think it help you, click the like button. Click the like button, guys. So until next time, until another video, thanks again for watching, for returning subscribers. You know my areas are out to you guys. Thank you, and until then, have a good day, have a good night, have a good morning, whatever time of the day it is where you are, and God bless you. Bye.